Hi guys, what is up? It is Sandra and welcome back to the channel. So if you can't tell by the fact that I have no makeup on and I look questionable right now, today's video is going to be a little bit of basically I'm going to do what I did last time, which was like get ready with me and answering questions, except for this is going to be kind of like a Halloween kind of makeup look. I'm not going to be, let me just say this up front. This is not gonna be a tutorial. I do know what I'm doing. I don't have the capacity to give you guys a tutorial, follow what I'm even saying, and also do this whole like kind of talk thing through it. I don't have that kind of capacity, and that would be a disaster waiting to happen. So instead, this is going to be just a kind of like follow along with whatever I'm doing. Um, I was gonna do an SFX makeup look today and do like a simple look or a simple SFX makeup look today, but I couldn't get the latex and then the fake blood in time because surprise surprise, even though I'm a horror and SFX makeup girly, I have yet to acquire the right things for an SFX basic kit. So we are just sticking to the basics of glam makeup, and that is it, which is okay because honestly that saves me a lot of trouble of things getting messy and whatnot. But yeah, anyways, okay. So yeah, and while I do that, I figured I would talk to you guys about my current favorite things because the also fun part about having so many hobbies and so many fixations is that you basically rotate your favorite things out every other month. So, anyways, so if you want to continue along, like I said, this is not going to be a tutorial in the slightest. I'm basically just going to go in and pin my bangs back because I'm just moisturizing up this desert crater of a face because I have been lacking at my skincare recently. I really have. It's been a problem. Usually I can get by like a 1 or 2 days without doing anything if I'm really pushing it, especially. So we're gonna go. I bought this thing from Amazon. It's like a travel size makeup bag because my old one I had from the dollar store for about give or take 8 years. And it was still nice. It still held up, but it was so flimsy that it didn't keep its shape at all. So I got a new one, and this one it's a travel size. It's a travel case thing, but I love it so much that I haven't done anything out of it because I love it because it like has a compartment set up for your palettes and then your stuff, and then it even has like a little place where I put my beauty blenders, which I need to wash. I literally need to wash. I'm a disgusting human being. I need to wash my beauty blenders. And then it has space for my brushes, which are packed to the core because start talking because after my makeup, after my eye look, I'm probably not going to talk as much because my face is like the least entertaining part of my makeup, to be honest with you. Did I tell you? I didn't tell you guys what we were doing. So for today's look, I'm doing a good old classic vampire look because I figured I love vampires so much. I'm a vampire fiend. I love vampires. I love bats. I love it so much. I'm literally reading a book about one of Dracula's brides. Like, I am such a vampire fiend. And did Vampire Diaries kind of open up that portal and that gateway and kind of not close it? Yes, okay, yes. I'm not a Twilight fan, but I am a Vampire Diaries stan, and I don't care how cringy it is to look at now because it's CW and they're cringy as hell. So we're gonna do a good old classic vampire look, because this is something I do if I did this for my birthday look, and then I also if I'm like doing anything that's like super edgy or whatever, I usually do this look because it's simple, it's easy, and it's only 2 colors. 3 if you want to be crazy, but you know what? I'm gonna quickly put on some concealer on my eyeballs because I need them to at least have some sort of put on my eyelids as much as I used to anymore. But I like to kind of at least give them something to kind of work with. So I guess we can hop into the first current favorites, which has been a current favorite for probably my longest hyperfixation ever, which is really like weird because usually my hyperfixations will literally last, especially if it's involving some sort of fandom or book or anything like that. I will literally hyperfixate on it for like maybe a month tops, and then a new thing will come in. But I haven't, which is surprising. I'm also, I don't know where my other palette went that I usually use. I usually use the Jaclyn Hill palette, the second one I think, and I don't know where it went. I genuinely don't know where it went. I hope to God I did not throw it away because if I did, so instead I'm gonna use this Revolution palette with all the good, with all the basic colors and whatnot in it. But one of my hyperfixations that has lasted literally since I think the beginning of this year, maybe even like no, I would say it's towards spring. It basically started towards spring and has lasted all of this time, and that is my love for F1. I am not a race car girly at all. I literally despise, honestly, I despise NASCAR. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with NASCAR, but I despise the living hell out of NASCAR. But you give me F1, I will eat that shit up quickly. Um, and people, I remember I told one of my relatives that, and she was like, "Are you into it because of a boy?" And I go, "No, I'm into it because I read a book, which is, um, the Dirty Air series by Lone Asher. Love that book series so much. I don't care what you say about her books or what you say about her that series. I hands down love it." And I was like, "No, I read a book with that is F1. I didn't realize it was F1 themed, or it was F1 like centric or whatever." And then I was on TikTok, and oh no, then I was watching a movie, and I talk about this in another video. I know for a fact. Then I was watching a movie, and one of the cars in said movie was a McLaren car. And then I was watching TikTok, and McLaren, Lando specifically, popped up on my For You page. And ever since then, I've been obsessed with McLaren. I don't know what it is. Um, but yeah, no, I was like, no, it was my own doing. Um, but right now, obviously, McLaren is my favorite, even though they're kind of sucking a little bit right now. But we're not going to go into that. So yeah, I have been a McLaren fan, and then recently, I would say I this is I don't know what this says about me and my personalities, but I'm recently kind of coming into being a what's a Verstappen fan? No, I'm recently coming into being a Ferrari fan. I know. If you're an F1 fan, hold your comments. I know. But that's mainly due to Charles. Charles is like my second favorite driver. Charles Leclerc is probably my second favorite driver when it comes to F1. It definitely goes Lando, Charles, and then I think like I'm kind of getting into being a Verstappen fan. I don't know. I don't know what's happening in my brain. I try not to question it if I'm being honest. Um, but yeah, no, I freaking will talk your ear off about F1 without even noticing I'm talking your ear off about F1. Um, but yeah, no, that has been a long-standing obsession of mine. I don't like I seriously when I tell you my hyperfixations usually last a good 1 2 months and then it just changes. Um, but that has been a long-standing obsession of mine or a long-standing hyperfixation of mine. Um, recently I will say recently McLaren has been definitely making me upset because I feel like after spring break happened, like I get it. We're kind of, out of a funk. Like we're trying to get back into the groove of things or whatever. But like I have never seen McLaren take since like I started watching. I started watching F1 the beginning of this year, but I was watching um Drive to Survive, and just because like I had nothing else to watch of F1, so I was watching that, and I haven't. And even when I started watching F1 and like started watching the races, I haven't seen McLaren take this drastic of a hit since I guess whatever the last time they took a hit was. But like they are, I'm kind of like scared. Like did it? I'm happy they won the constructors drivers whatever championship it was called. I don't remember. But I'm upset that they're not. of the past couple of races they've done where it's been like, oh, this is happening. Okay, we need to retire you or whatever. And don't get me started on that race when Lando's car literally engine failured 6 laps or something like that before the race ended, and he was doing good, and that happened. Don't even nope, don't even start on that. I was pissed. One, I woke up because I was kind of tired because I hadn't, like I said, we hadn't had a race in like 3 weeks, so I wasn't on my F1 schedule where I was able to wake up super early and watch the races. So I was kind of tired, as you know you would be. So I kept on falling asleep and whatnot, and I woke up mid me trying to, I don't know, just wake up and be like, oh, what's happening? And I literally look over and I see the radio thing for Lando, and he's like, this is happening. And I'm like, what? You mean, huh? So that happened, and I was not excited about that. I was like, are you seriously saying that your engine just failed 6 laps before the finish line when you were doing okay? Like, you were, I think it was like second or maybe even first, I'm not too sure. And of course, Oscar won. So, which no hate to him. Like, I get him, love him, but sometimes I just want to literally withhold him. Anyways, moving on. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's because I'm kind of going through my, I would say, second or third round of puberty or of whatnot, but I am into and loving the whimsy goth fashion. Like, I've always been someone who loves the fashion, loves that kind of style, but I myself wouldn't dress like that. Like, I love my, athleisure attire kind of situation. Like, I'm an athleisure girly. But recently I've been kind of like in the mode or in the kind of headspace to like go and like switch up my style and buy more clothes that are like more, whimsy goth fashion. And even like the 1920s. Like, what is happening? Like the 1920s academia, what is happening? Because that was not me like a month ago. I don't know if it's because I've been researching a lot of that because of my book or what, but like I have been into that kind of fashion and trying to incorporate like more of it into, or trying or wanting to incorporate more of it into like my jewelry or into my hair. Like, even getting bangs, I feel like was me kind of realizing how much I love it. Even though I will say it took me a while to get into my bangs. It took me a while to get adjusted to my bangs. And even now when I'm like, when I wake up and I like style them, I still feel like, but what if you didn't have this? But what if what? But I feel like it honestly adds character to myself, and I don't know. It took me a while to get into it. It was a very like, it was a very not rash decision, but it was a very like, oh, what if I look good in this? Okay, I'm gonna try it. And I didn't think about it as much as I could have thought about it. But then again, I was like, how would I have ever thought about changing my hair with like a week's notice? At least none. Now I'm adding the darker shades, aka the black, into it because this makes it the more like smoky vampire look. Now on to the next hyperfixation of mine, which I think we can all agree is like, okay. I recently, by recently I mean as of a month ago, have gotten into the supernatural fandom. Yep, you heard that correctly. I have been every night, every single freaking night, I have been trying to watch at least one episode of Supernatural. I'm now on season 6, episode 8, I believe. I tried to watch more last night, but I was just, after writing for so long, after like writing and whatnot, using my brain for so long yesterday, I was like, nah, we're gonna actually give myself a break and not watch that anymore. Did it for a while. I think the one season that gave me, I think it was season 4, I don't know, was giving me a lot of weird dreams. I will say that. I don't know if it's because I was researching for my podcast, which is out now, or if I was watching a lot of Supernatural before I went to bed. But for a while, for like a week or so, I was having very weird dreams. Like I'm talking very weird, weird dreams. But more specifically, Jensen Ackles. Need I say more? Need I say more? Literally, that man. Oh my god! Even now, like even in his older like years, I don't know how old he is. He is still like, oh my gosh! I freaking love him. His character and everything. Granted, it's probably a lot of the trauma bond that we're going through with me and him, but I love his character so freaking much. I am definitely, when people ask me before I watched this, because I was watching Sam and Colby and like all that kind of stuff, a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're a Dean girl for sure," and I was like, "Sure, I guess." Now I get it. Now I get it, and I feel like I was just too accurate because I get it now. I will say it took me a minute to get into it because the first episode I watched, I only watched like maybe 30 minutes of it, maybe not 3 minutes, but like 15 minutes of it, and I was like, what in the fuck is this people? And then I came back to it later this year, and I was like, actually, I see you. But it did kind of throw me off whenever because I was watching Gilmore Girls before this, and I kind of stopped after like a couple of seasons because Rory was being a pain in my butt. Like she was literally, I wanted to literally throw her across the dang room and like get be consistent to her because what the frick, girl? What in the hell are you thinking? Sometimes, but I was, I stopped watching that, and then when I went to watch Supernatural, the guy who plays Sam is the same guy who played Dean on Gilmore Girls, and he's not Dean in Supernatural. He is Sam. So it took me a good long while to like refresh my like kind of get my memory to be like, no, that's Sam. That is not Dean. That is Sam. That's Dean. That's Sam. That's not all that kind of stuff. So it took me a good long while to do that, but now I won't lie in saying that at least 4 YouTube shorts are now Jensen Ackles edits, which I'm not mad about. I am. I love Supernatural so much. I honestly love any show that's like regarding any like occult themed like supernatural beings. Of course, when you name a show Supernatural, it kind of it's like very on the news. But I love any show like that so much. It's honestly why I'm creating like my book and also my podcast in a way. This is a time in the look where a part of the look or whatever, I don't know how to phrase that, where it's very easy to go overboard because I'm using black, so it's very easy to go overboard. So right now I'm just trying my best to really kind of try and smoke out the edges. This eye, we love her. This eye, sometimes we do. Sometimes it's a guessing game of what it's gonna be like. But I think we're kind of without trying to look like I just got a black eye. It's on to the face because now we've kind of done the eye look. Now I need to do my brows, which I'm gonna do off camera because I have to fill in. I don't even know if you can see them. I'm gonna fill in my brows, and then I only have 2 more things to talk about. So my brows are done. They're not twins at all in size, but they never are because I can never get them to be correct. Anyway, on to the second to last type of fixation I have in mind, and that is right now, it's not a fixation, but it's a book genre. I again don't know if it's that I've read my life through YA books or any sort of young adult books or anything like that, but I have been going into the genre of gothic fantasy. I know, shocker. Um, I can don't know, generally don't know if that's because I read my life through YA and now I'm kind of like, give me another book that's not gonna be the same as YA because, listen, YA is good. It's nice to have a break and know what you're reading and be like, okay, this is gonna happen. Like every book, the one thing I will say, and I don't know if this is like a hot take or whatever, but I feel like every YA book that authors come out with are the literal same thing, just in different fonts and in different aesthetics. Like they're the same synopsis, same kind of summary, same kind of plot, whatever, in just different fonts and in different aesthetics. And like I get it, sometimes it may be like, oh, it's what's going on, it's what people are buying, whatever. But also at the end of the day, I also, because like now, because the book I'm writing right now is very not, it's very, I feel like, niche to a certain genre and to a certain subject and a certain audience or whatever. But it's like, wouldn't you rather write something that you want to write and not write something that you know in your head is going to sell very good or sell very well? Like, I don't know. It just, I feel like every author that's in the YA genre right now or writes in the YA genre is, or even in the fantasy genre, not even YA, but the fantasy genre itself, even. I feel like they are writing the same books, but in different fonts and in different aesthetics, but the same kind of plot. And I'm like, I'm kind of tired of it, which is why I went to Gothic fantasy, because it's the same kind of premises, kind of in a way, but it's like it's different in the aspect of there's more. You can go deeper in Gothic fantasy, or you can just do the basic, whatnot of it all. The basic kind of like, oh, you have a being, or you're having to fight off this being, or whatever. That's not of this world, or whatever. Um, but yeah, no, that's my one gripe about books right now, is that every book I see on the market that's fantasy or even YA or whatever is the same thing, but in different fonts. And that's why I'm kind of garnering to Gothic fantasy, because, like I said, you can go deeper into. There's so many levels you can go into. You can go into, the mental, like, psyche aspect of the Gothic fantasy, or you can go into the paranormal aspect of it all. There's like so many levels you can go into when it comes to Gothic fantasy, that it's like not all of it is the same. Yes, there may be the same character aspects or whatever, or the same kind of like almost the same plot twist aspects of it, but it's still different. Um, and I will say I'm looking at my bookshelf right now, and my two like favorite books right now when it comes to that genre are Serpent in the Wings of the Night, and then I would say One Dark Window, and then um, I'm currently reading right now, or I just finished right now, Immortal Dark, and oh, I love that, because it delved into a much more it delved into a different aspect of vampires than I've seen before, and it was really nice. It was like a little history lesson, to be honestly, and it wasn't like a boring history lesson either. Um, but yeah, that's kind of why I like what I'm writing so much, because it's not anything. It's not anything like that's different, but it's also not the same like thing as like I'm even trying to delve into like different tropes or whatever. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like every book is just the same. There's authors that I want to say, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to offend. I don't want to have people coming in for my throats. But there's some authors that I have in mind that I'm like, I really wish you would step out of that zone, because I feel like you have such great potential, but you're just in that zone right now. But I'm not going to, because I don't want people coming in for my throats, because I may sound like I can handle it, but I'm really fragile, so I'm not going to do that. Um, anyways, that is the second one, and then right now, going off of the gothic kind of thing, I right now am currently obsessed with, and I've been obsessed, but I feel like over the past month or two, it kind of wakened back up in me, which is only how my fixations go, and that is like anything that has to do with old house renovations. And I don't mean like old houses like 1900s houses. I mean like old houses, like castles even, like gigantic manors that nobody's buying because, well, it's hell expensive to like repair it. I mean that type of repairment. And I myself really want to, at some point, if I am able to, my dream would be to get a old, not Victorian like house, but get an old kind of house that is kind of resembling the Victorian era and just like renovate it and get it to where, you know, it's still the same. Because I love houses that I love when people take houses, like old houses, and they still leave the like characteristics of that house and they don't change it. Because let me tell you, the one thing I hate about houses now, the one thing they all look freaking same, and it drives me crazy because they all look the same. They all look stupidly like the same. So I really want to do that and like just add its characteristics back in, but also still be able to like live in it. Um, but no, I'm a very big history, like when it comes to that kind of stuff, very big history buff when it comes to that kind of stuff. Um, I know times somebody says, oh, I'm a history buff, they're usually like, God, why? But for me, I'm a history buff when it comes to houses or styles or architecture or just like history, or like art and history and styles and whatnot. That's what I'm a history buff in. But honestly, like I just wanted to sit down with you guys and chat with you guys, and because I figured this would be ready with me, I might as well do a Halloween look and do a somewhat of a vampire kind of look, even though this is really not a vampire look to be specific. But anyways, I'm gonna finish up this face and this makeup look because my lips definitely feel dry. But yeah, this is the makeup look. It was just a little quick vampire, kind of my take on my vampire look. I do this on a daily, like I do this when I go out in public, minus obviously like the black mantle and stuff. But also I tried out these little clips that I got from Dollar Store, which are, I don't even think supposed to go in your hair. But I tried them out because I was gonna wear these probably around like Halloween, either to work or just in general because they're so freaking cute and adorable. And I'm literally like, I feel so cute and so adorable with these on. But I do wear this on a normal basis, like if I'm going out and I want to do some sort of makeup look. This is what I do. Obviously, like I said, minus the black veins or black lines, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I just thought this would be a fun little idea to do, and might as well do a Halloween twist on it while it's October and whatnot. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of probably a little bit more chatty, rambly than my normal videos, which is surprising. But I just thought I would do this video. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, don't forget to like this video and maybe even subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to post more often now than I was. And giving myself, I think my biggest problem was I was giving myself like deadlines every Sunday and whatnot. And because, like I said, I also had a job outside of YouTube, it was hard sometimes, some days, to even want to edit a video or whatever. And also the fact that I was kind of like putting myself in a little box, kind of, so, and labeling myself and doing all this kind of other stuff. Can you not loud track? Oh my gosh. So I feel like this time I'm taking a much more like creative liberties with my stuff and just doing whatever I feel like doing on a week. And if I don't feel like uploading that week, then I won't. But I am trying to upload more. I'm trying to get more content out to you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, if you guys liked it, and I will see you on the next one.